Do you feel that if Colombia and the United States did more for your records, that you could actually reach more people?
Not only are they not doing more, but they're not even taking this new record.
They aren't?
No. So I'm in the process of finding another record company. Columbia in the United States does not regard me as a marketable singer. They don't think I have any market value. And even the European companies, because I put out records so rarely and tour so rarely, although there are some exceptions, many of the European record companies accept my work with a certain kind of reluctance. They'll put it out. They don't expend too much energy in promoting it. They depend on a certain word of mouth, and they believe that there's going to be a certain kind of person that will buy the record, but they don't see it as the record that is going to save the company financially. And they've been very surprised in this last tour, one, to find that I can still fill concert halls, and two, to find that the people in the concert halls are also young. So they have been somewhat unaware that the music has crossed over a generation. In fact, my old promoter wouldn't even accept this concert tour. I had to find another promoter. So you see, things don't necessarily go that well all the time, but you can't pin your hopes on this kind of event. If you're serious about the thing, you've got to keep on working and keep on doing it, regardless of, you know, how the marketplace accepts you, and especially how the institutions of the marketplace regard you.
But you yourself, you enjoy touring and singing, performing?
Once we're out on the road, I like it very much. I've got a very good band, and the people in it get along very well with one another, so there's a lot of good feeling both in the band and the crew. The preliminaries of setting up a tour are difficult. Looking for musicians, rehearsing the band, setting up the tour. But once you're on the road, you go into another gear, and yeah, it's quite agreeable.
So you regard yourself as a singer as much as a poet?
I don't really have a title for myself. Sometimes I don't think I'm much of a singer. Sometimes I think I'm good. It changes.
Sometimes I think you're very good indeed.
It really changes how one views oneself, you know, and it can change many times during a day. I like to go on tour because I like that direct contact with the listener, and one is inspired by an audience. Sometimes you find an audience that is better than you. You know, sometimes you find an audience that is more hospitable than you are. You've been traveling, you're tired. You've been up all night, you've traveled the next day, and you just don't have the energy to meet their hospitality. That happens now and then. But it is a wonderful thing, and it is a very refreshing thing, and it makes life on the road very, very easy when you can touch people and you get the response. I think if we didn't get that response, then the life on the road would be very, very fatiguing, because it's quite rigorous, the life on the road.
Is that response also, that experience also, what made you go into music at the time you did in 1966, 67?
Well, I went into music professionally then, but I'd always played music, and well, actually I had a job when I was 15 or 16 in a country western band. But my friends and I always played music, and And our evenings were always musical evenings. That's what we used to do when we were at university, and even after. Uh, there was nothing we liked better to do than to bring out our instruments and sit around and drink and, I guess, try to impress the girls that were with us and have a good time.
So you always wrote at least some of your poems as songs.
Well, I never really had the idea that what I was doing was setting poems to music. Sometimes a lyric can stand on a page as a poem, but I think the nature of a song is that it has to move swiftly from heart to heart, and that it has to be accessible. I don't mean it has to be simple-minded. It could be complex. But there has to be something in the language and in the music that moves swiftly. Whereas on a page, it doesn't have to yield itself so quickly, because just in the time frame is very different. It's the way you can read and go back to a line and shut the book and say forget it and come back again. Like there are many poems that I didn't understand in my first reading, in my first 5 readings. There are poems that I didn't understand until 20 years later. But a song by its very nature has to move rapidly. Mm-hmm. So the lyric is designed very differently.